This episode is brought to you by Peacock. The new Peacock original documentary, Matthew Perry, A Hollywood Tragedy, dives deep into the beloved actor's rise to fame and his tragic death. 5 people, including Perry's personal assistant, 2 medical doctors, and an alleged Hollywood drug dealer known as the Ketamine Queen, were charged with conspiracy to illegally provide Perry with the ketamine. Explore the details of the case in this heartbreaking special, streaming now only on Peacock.
What is Café Mocha? Café Mocha is experts, celebrities.
What's up? This is Belle Biv DeVoe.
Yours truly, Idris Elba.
This is Fantasia.
This is In Vogue.
This is India Ari.
So much more. All from a woman's perspective.
What flavor are you, baby?
This is Café Mocha.
Café Mocha with Loni Love. Yo, I'm Angelique. This week is all about R&B artists. We got Kevin Ross and Jay Brown, both who have new music. Loni, I know you have stuff on your mind.
Ooh, okay, you know the Oscar race is hot, and one of the best actresses who is actually making history, her name is Carla Sofia Gaston, and she stars in the movie Emilia Perez.
It's on Netflix. That's Emilia Perez is like the biggest Oscar nominee. It's got the most nominations this year if you haven't seen it.
Wow.
Yeah, it's interesting.
She's the first openly trans performer nominated for the Oscar. But there's some old tweets of hers that have resurfaced and have been unearthed. And they were not great tweets at all.
I know. Did you hear them?
Did you see them?
They were disgusting. They were disgusting. She went all the way back to the Floyd days, and you just, name calling.
I mean, I was trying to look up first of all, it's really hard when you're doing things like this. When, during the Oscars, in order for you to be considered to win, you have to do an actual campaign. And, during this campaign, you're going different places. You're trying to look your best. But there was a journalist who uncovered her racist tweets. And the journalist, she said, she wasn't looking for them. It was just something that actually had happened. She's a freelance writer. Her name was Sarah Haiji. And she said that she just couldn't believe that she even kept the tweets up. There were things like, like you said, she was talking about George Floyd. She talked about Muslims. She talked about everybody, and she didn't take the tweets down. So people were thinking, oh, well, do you think, this is my question to you all, if you have somebody who is being nominated for this very prestigious award, do you think, and they come up with a bunch of crazy tweets that's racist and very offensive, do you think they should pull out or be disqualified?
Wait, hold it. I want to read one of her tweets because it's actually about the Oscars. The Oscars are increasingly resembling an independent and vindictive film award ceremony. I don't know if I was watching an Afro-Korean festival, Black Lives Matter demonstration, or a March 8th. I don't know, what's March 8th? She posted during the Oscars. Should they? I don't know. I mean, I think the classy thing to do is to step aside. Isn't that what Kevin Hart did when he was supposed to host and some stuff came up and he just stepped aside?
Mm-hmm. That's what he did. But you guys realize that, this woman, this will probably be her only time to get nominated. So she wants to stay in there. But I feel like, don't you think, that maybe the Academy should pull?
I think once the Academy realized that she was discriminating against other countries, people,
everybody,
races, nationalities, and has the nerve to want to be accepted for her gender role. What a hypocrite. Yes, I believe that they should pull her saying, hey, listen, where we can't honor you. This is not what we stand for. And to honor her and she wins, it's almost like saying we stand for this type of behavior.
Now, what she did do, that once they were uncovered, she sent to the Hollywood Reporter a long statement, and she also deactivated her Twitter account and just some of the stuff that she was saying in the statement is, it hasn't been nice how you've treated me, giving in fact the narrative that hate sick people have wanted to sell you. Neither I nor my family are racist, ever. Quite the opposite. And no one has supported us. You've known us for years and have taken for granted that some twits highlighting hypocrisy, racism, and evil that people have in this world were my feelings and not a report. Now, I want to say that English is not her first language. Her
Okay.
first language is so that's why it's sort of like that. But
Twits.
it's like the twits, you know what I mean? But in this statement, she put an Instagram post. To me, she was digging herself deeper into, you know what I mean? It's like, why
Like
can't
what are you talking about?
why can't you just take accountability? Like,
Nobody does that. Come on. Those days are over. Over.
well, you
Over.
know, and it's just, to me, it's unfair because, you know, there are only 5 slots for best actress.
Right.
There are other people that could have had that slot.
Right.
And, you know, I'm sorry, but, you know, this being a Netflix movie and all of that, it's causing havoc with the Netflix people because you know, you also have Zoe Zeldana, who is also in that movie, who's up for an Oscar. So it may look badly for everybody in that film
Right.
to actually be considered for Oscar because this woman won't pull out of the race. And
Well, you know, the Academy dropped Will Smith and said, "Oh, you're banned." So they could, you know, they could kick her out if they wanted to. It would probably be something different, maybe something they hadn't done before. But you know, I would say the Academy should apply just enough pressure for her to voluntarily step out of the race.
yeah, well,
That's what she even her co-star Selena Gomez, who plays both her wife and her something-in-law in the movie. She even made derogatory comments about Selena Gomez years ago in a tweet that she denies. It was deleted, so who knows what it said, but yeah, it looked like nobody was off limits.
well, here's what she said about George Floyd, and this is what she tweeted. She says, honestly, I think that very few people ever cared about George Floyd, a drug addict swindler, but his death has served to once again demonstrate that there are people who still consider Black people to be without rights and consider policemen to be assassins, she posted. They're all wrong. That's what she posted about George Floyd.
Okay.
So and again, she has apologized for the offensive tweets.
How do you apologize for just being who you are? You should never have to do that. I mean, it's not like you can say I've grown since then. That was 4 years ago.
In her apology, she says, as someone in a marginalized community, I know this suffering all too well, and I am deeply sorry to those I have caused pain, the actor said in a statement via Netflix, where her film can be streamed. All my life, I have fought for a better world. I believe light will always triumph over darkness.
Well, she was causing darkness. What is she talking about?
All I know is Netflix and the other stars have done everything they can to distance themselves from this controversy. Anyway, on the way, R&B singer Kevin Ross on Café Mocha.
Standing in solidarity from a woman's perspective. It's Café Mocha.
It's Café Mocha. Loni Love, Yo-Yo, and Angelique on the line. American singer, songwriter, producer Kevin Ross. He has a new single out called Love in the Middle. And you know what, Kevin? Your new single, Love in the Middle, is heating up the charts. Welcome to Café Mocha.
Hey, thank you for having me. I really appreciate that, y'all. Thank you for having me back, matter of fact.
Exactly. It's like, wait, how you been?
Yeah.
You been good?
I've been amazing. Blessed.
And you know what? This Love in the Middle, is just a wonderful song. And what inspired this track, and how does it reflect where you are in your life right now?
To be honest, I wrote this song for blue collar lovers. So, those are the nurses, the doctors, the UPS workers. It's people that, get up every day, do their 9 to 5s. And so, whether it's for your significant other, whether it's your passion, whether it's family, but it's about, slowing down time to make sure that you put love in the middle to the things that you care about. And especially nowadays with, such a crazy world, social media, everything is fast paced and it's a lot of demand that's on us. And so I wanted a song that allows for us to just kind of slow down and, just enjoy the present moment.
Kevin, your album, Love Up Tempo Volume 1, it drops March the 28th. I'm so excited for this new album. But how does this differ from your previous work?
I think that is just more so about the energy. So I think right now my main focus is high vibrational R&B. That's what I'm titling it. That's what I'm calling it. Sometimes I used to not understand why, people weren't necessarily into, certain vibes and certain feels within my music. But then I had to understand that it's a vibration thing. It's an energy thing. So if you vibrate low and you hear this bright music, it's not going to hit you the same. And so, for me, I got to understand that to say, if you're not on the right frequency, if you don't know how to vibrate high, then it may not be for you. Okay. And so, just like McDonald's in a 5-star restaurant, you going to get fed and you going to get full, but it's a different quality to both of them. So, you got to understand the difference. So,
Love that.
That's where I stand with it.
We're talking to Kevin Ross. His new single is Love in the Middle. The album is Love Up Tempo Volume 1. One of the things that I love about your music, and I program the music here at Café Mocha, you always do the love songs, but they're always, like the two-step love songs. Yeah. They're not slow and sleepy. Yeah. I love the fact that they've got a little bit of up-tempo momentum. Is that by choice or, because I really appreciate it.
No, absolutely. I need for y'all to move y'all joints. You know what I mean? I need to make sure that y'all ligaments and muscles is moving, keep the body warm. And like you said, I think it's just a lot of ballads out there. I think it's easy. It's easy for artists to create ballads because it's slower. So you get to put more words into phrases and, you get to show off a lot more. But I think it's a lot more difficult to make songs that are more mid to up tempo and for people to, kind of dance to and still remember the lyrics and still have quality. So I'm always up for the challenge. And so thank you. And thank you for programming the music. I really appreciate that as well.
Yeah, she tries to do something good.
Try.
What we love about you too, Kevin, is that you're an award-winning songwriter. You've written songs for people like Trey Songz, Nicki Minaj, Jamie Foxx, SWV, Johnny Gill, Tony Braxton. But what are some collaborations that you are really excited about?
Well, I really want to work with Stevie Wonder one day for sure. Yes. And then it's kind of, that's kind of like my, shoot for the moon and land on the stars type of situation. So everybody is just kind of like a byproduct of the dream of working with Stevie Wonder. And that's no diss to anybody. I just, that's my main focus, to be honest.
No, that's
is working with
real.
Stevie. Anybody else in between is great. So yeah.
Any hip hop artist?
I'm not opposed, to be honest. Like my placement work is like really all over the gamut. So like from the hip hop side, I did records for like the Nickies and to the Lil Waynes on production to Kodak Black to to a whole bunch of people. And even on like the Creed 3 soundtrack that came out last year, working with Westside Boogie and working with Kaz from the West Coast. And so, a lot of just a lot of current rappers and stuff like that, and just figuring out where I put my place in. So even if it's not a hook, vocal production or additional production as far as me playing keys or whatever. So I figure out a way to get in there as far as within the hip hop community, R&B, and whatever else. I consider myself like a Swiss Army knife of music.
Kevin, in your opinion, what do you think is going on with the state of R&B? Like, it seems as if we're not getting the exposure like we used to back in the day. What do you think is the issue? If you think there is one?
Yeah, I don't think it's an issue more so than it is a change of direction, right? I think the future of R&B is independence, right? So within hip hop, you can name all of the independent heroes from the Master P's to the Birdmans, or their government names, Percy Miller and Brian Williams. You know what I mean? Nipsey Hussle. There's so many that have come and really made a great name for themselves and have pioneered and laid a blueprint. And so I don't think that we've had that within R&B. We've had a lot of marketing dollars thrown at us for over the past 30 to 40 years, right? And a lot of visibility and a lot of success on the charts. And so now we're at a place where we have to be humbled. And so we're at a really interesting crossroads where we can become a genre that could be obscure like jazz, no, just the jazz, but we could become as obscure as jazz, or we can have a reinvention, and which I think this is our reconstruction phase, to really focus on understanding the business. It's not about how many dollars get put inside of us, but where the dollars are allocated towards, so that we can maximize, to the best of our abilities, our releases. So to me, going back to that point, the future of R&B is independence.
Talking about independence, one of the more interesting speeches at the Grammys a few weeks ago was from pop star Chappelle Roan, who called out record labels for not providing talent with health insurance and a living wage. Any thoughts about that?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, I definitely think that major labels, the least that you could do is make sure that your artist has a clean bill of health, to make sure that they're mentally, mentally fully there. You know what I mean? And I think, I don't know if it's on purpose. I won't go that far to say that they purposely leave artists handicapped. But if all signs lead to that, and we've seen the horror stories or heard the horror stories, throughout the decades, and they haven't done anything about it, then it is what it is. But it's up to us as an artist community as well to come together. If we know that the major labels aren't going to do it, us as artists, producers, and writers have to come together to create alliances and community amongst one another. We can't just sit there and, just lean into the labels to say, well, they didn't do this and it can never be done. I think there's a lot of money that's made between artists, producers, and writers that we can form a collective or coalition, or, even what they do as far as within acting. They have these, they have unions. We don't have unions.
Right.
And so, that's the problem. Union is community. That is of the people. That is of the creative, not of the higher ups. And so I think if we can come together to figure that out, and not to ask, but to provide for ourselves and to create, these little small pots and pockets, I think it's possible. Will it serve the entire community? No. But I think if we focus on those who are in dire need of it, in order for them to sustain and to continue to keep going as musicians and artists and creatives, then, I think we'll have something. So I think they were spot on with that.
You could tell you a real songwriter, because you know how to speak. I love that. You're not just, sitting here going, well, I don't know. And, it's like, because you've been through it, It's Cafe Mocha on the line. Kevin Ross, his new album, Love Up-Tempo Volume 1, is everywhere, March 28th. But he also has a tour, Love Up-Tempo, and it's going to kick off Valentine's Day. Oh, tell me about
That's
this
right.
tour.
Absolutely. So it's the Love Up Tempo tour, which does kick off in my hometown in Washington, D.C., February 14th and 15th. For all other dates, you can go to kevinrossmusic.com. I love going on tour. I love doing live performances. It's just an extension of the records, right? It's allowing for me to engage and to really touch the people who've listened to the music, to see what they look like, them getting dressed up and to look at their eyes and how they light up when certain songs come on. I think that's the magic of it. I think that's where the payoff is in this whole kind of recording industry process, is when an artist can actually, be eye to eye with their audience or fans or community. And especially nowadays, right now, it's really kind of like direct to consumer. So I love it, and I'm excited about it. So make sure you get your tickets, KevinRossMusic.com. We will be in the cities of St. Louis, Chicago, Philly, Boston, New York, Pittsburgh, of course, Washington, D.C. as far as on Valentine's Day. And yeah, any other cities that I'm forgetting, Baltimore, make sure that you look up the tickets at KevinRossMusic.com.
Is it just you and a band, or what can we expect?
Oh yeah, me, band, background singers. Yeah, we got the whole thing. I want to give people an experience. If I'm going out on tour, we going out on the road. I ain't trying to shortchange nobody. You know what I mean? There are the moments where you gonna get that me and the DJ, me and the 2-track. Hit the 1-2, whatever. But nah, if it's my thing, I'm gonna make sure that musicality is around me because it's in me. So yeah.
I love that. And when you left Motown Records a few years back, you started your own label, and we were talking about independence, Art Society Music Group. What are the pros and cons of going independent?
I think the biggest pro is just the freedom to release music whenever you want to, right? And then you can actually look at the metrics to see how much you're actually making from off of a master. What companies, what platforms, what partners are giving you the proper ROI, right? You can double down. You can, fall back from certain investments if it's not yielding the type of ROI that you want. But also at the same time, one of the hard parts about independence is when you're starting off, if you don't have a lot of money, if you don't have a lot of money to invest inside of, your company or inside of your brand, you really have to be innovative and creative with what you have. Thank God we have social media where, you can really create a community of your own, and it's really based on the content that you produce and how you connect with them. So there's power within that, but it is tough at the beginning for sure to kind of get your feet and get your groove and figure out how you're going to make money with the little money that you have. But I think it's worth it in the end because you actually know what you're worth as a brand, as an artist, and then you can actually pass that information along to the next generation or to the next artist. And so it's the gift that keeps giving. So I wouldn't trade it for the world, for sure.
You say you're 11 years in, and this is the way you're making all of your money now. Is that a struggle for an independent artist to solely rely on music?
Yeah, I mean, when I was signed and, all that stuff, that was a whole different situation. And so, now 11 years in and being able to, pay everything with music, it's wild because I know a lot of friends and colleagues that do music, that write, that create, but they have side hustles because the music just isn't enough because of streaming. If you're making, 0.00003 on a dollar, after every stream, that's not a lot of income, especially for those who are not getting that big exposure, right? Or they don't have enough to, get booked at their local, pub or bar or whatever. And so, yeah, I mean, I think at times it's really, really difficult for independent artists to, get that money going. But once it's going, you figure out ways in order to reinvest and then to save up, to be smart about your money, to be, not frugal, but, fiscally responsible. For sure. And so, I think that, being an independent artist definitely has its, it has its ups and its downs and its hardship. But there's money to be made for sure. And I just think it's just how you go about it. And anything is possible. And I've done it for 11 years. So if I could do it, a lot of other people could do it.
We love it. The name of the album is Love Up-Tempo, Volume 1, everywhere, March 28th. The tour is Love Up-Tempo, and the single is called Love in the Middle. Thank you so much, Kevin Ross, for stepping in to Café Mocha. We appreciate you, and we'll see you at your show.
Thank you so much. Thank y'all for the love, too, over the years. I really, really do appreciate it.
Oh, you keep doing it, brother. We love you.
Yes.
Thank y'all.
Love Up Tempo Volume 1 comes out at the end of March. The celebration of R&B continues. Next, we've got Jay Brown on Café Mocha.
We're at Café Mocha Radio. Socially savvy on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Serving up more Café Mocha on the way. Standing in solidarity from a woman's perspective. It's Café Mocha.
It's Café Mocha with Loni Love, Yo-Yo, Angelique. On the line is R&B singer Jay Brown, brand new album called Just a Matter of Time. Jay Brown, welcome to Café Mocha.
Thanks for having me. How you doing?
Oh, you know what? You know you cool because you from the 313 Detroit. I am a Detroit sister, daughter. And so anybody that's from Detroit is my brother or sister too. So your new album, I'm so excited about this, Jay. What can we expect from Just a Matter of Time?
Yeah, so what you basically can expect is similar to my previous album, which is entitled The Art of Making Love. I like to focus primarily on love and uplifting women. But with this particular album, it's basically like a love journey. You know, like finding love, losing it, wanting it. That's pretty much the best way I can sum up the album.
We know you started singing in your daddy's choir. Take us back to when you were a little boy. How has that foundation shaped the kind of love and soul you bring to your album?
Yeah, so I started in my father's church. It's a Baptist church. And I started playing the organ at the age of 6 while singing. I actually started playing the organ first, but then when I was 8, that's when we all discovered that I could sing.
Oh, I love that. And so from that, how did you get into the business?
So from there, I would enter various talent shows, like all the things that a lot of church kids would do in some sense. Like, of course, those talent shows were gospel only, considering. But over the course of time, I started singing a lot of Motown songs, considering I grew up on that in the household. And from there, it just kind of progressed into me doing secular music, singing Temptations and, the OJs and things of that nature. And then from there on, it just kept growing and growing.
I love that. On the line, singer Jay Brown, his new album coming out is called Just a Matter of Time. It will also, the new single is titled Just a Matter of Time, featuring October London. And True Love is currently on the charts. So that is great. So Thank you for that. We had October London on the show. What is it like working with him? Because he's so cool.
Yeah. So working with my boy, it was pretty cool. Similar to a lot of my friends I work with. We all just have fun, build a vibe. And then from there, we just create,
Do you write the songs,
So him and I,
Jay?
we've been knowing each other for a while.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Both October and I collabed on this song. Someone else produced it.
Oh, okay. Where do you get your inspiration from when you're singing, when you're recording, when you're writing? How do you get your inspiration as a songwriter and a singer?
Oh, I'm glad you asked that question. A lot of people don't ask me that. I normally get my inspiration just from different people, different experiences that people either tell me about or that I hear about. But it's never really my own personal experiences. It's just more so stories that I've heard or things that I've witnessed, but not really pertaining to my own personal life.
Okay. So you don't have any songs about somebody that broke your heart in 7th grade?
No, maybe in undergrad that actually happened twice. Because stupidly, I allowed myself to go back with her after, I witnessed a few things, but that's another story. We'll talk about it.
We all do it.
No,
don't feel bad, Jay. We all do it.
Yeah,
at least
we
once.
all do it.
Right?
Some of us do it 4 or 5 times.
Right.
You have a big job in helping to keep R&B alive for the next generation. Talk about that responsibility.
So considering I grew up on the music that actually meant something. And when I say that, I mean the music of substance. Back in the day, they talked about real deal issues, things that a lot of us could relate to. Even though I was younger back in the day, still those things I've witnessed in my parents' relationships. So I feel my music is bringing people back to the forefront of what matters, songs that are thought provoking and really makes you maybe sometimes question how you treat women, because a lot of people don't treat women the right way. And I talk about a lot of love and uplifting women and, trying to do the right thing. So my hope is just for me to go back to that old sound, the music that actually mattered, as I stated, so that people can ultimately incorporate that into their relationships.
I love that. I mean, because I feel like, for a minute, we were losing love songs. Like it was more about, okay, let's make love in the club, or, let's be mad at each other. But, you're choosing this different route. So why are you deciding to choose this different route?
Because it's something that I believe in, I strongly believe in love. I love the thought of falling in love. And I just, I love treating women right. As, I don't know, I don't want to say cliche, but I've always had things for like, taking a woman out, buying her roses, opening the door for her.
How do they act?
Smile,
How do they act though? What about these independent?
Sometimes, well, yeah. It's funny you asked that question because oddly enough, and this is actually, it's pretty odd. A lot of women nowadays, like, and not to say I'm dating a lot of women, but if I go out on dates, like if I do certain things, you'll see the expressions on their faces like, wait a minute, that's kind of foreign. And I'm like, dang, no one's opened the door for you? And they're like, hell no. I'm like, what? You telling me dates that you go on, none of these brothers open the door for you? And they're like, hell no. And I'm like, wow, that's kind of crazy. So, yeah, man, this is why I'm thinking about the stuff I'm thinking about, because a lot of people don't even know what to look for sometimes, or who knows, man. I think we just lost souls amongst us, man. I don't even know how to sum it up. It's just crazy when it comes to love.
Are you singing for the ladies or are you singing to the men? Are you teaching the men how to behave or are you just crooning for the ladies?
Look, so straight up, I'm going to be 100 with you. I'm singing for the ladies. But like I said, I want to bring people back to the forefront of how they should treat women and how they should go about finding love. And, it's okay to do certain things that may appear to be vulnerable to some men. So, of course, ultimately, I hope the men are listening to the message, because it's not a hidden message. It's a pretty obvious message. So I feel like if a lot of men out here have their hearts in the right place in terms of finding love, then I think, like, my songs could potentially make it cool again. Like, okay, men are talking about it. I feel it. Maybe I should start doing it. I don't know. My hope is just to bring people back to it. I think the message is for anyone who wants to hear it, both men and women. But
I love that.
Women.
Make sure you support our stuff. The Image Awards is on BET and streaming on Peacock this weekend. And our girl, Michaela from How to Get Away with Murder is back. I'll talk about her new project in the Espresso.
Here's your dose of espresso. Strong, hot news now.
This is the Espresso. The Trump administration's made it clear they're against diversity.
My administration has taken action to abolish all discriminatory diversity, equity, and inclusion nonsense.
Last week, the Department of Education gave schools and colleges 2 weeks to get rid of all race-based policies, or they could lose funding. After a jury in L.A. deliberated for 3 short hours, rapper A$AP Rocky was found not guilty of 2 felony counts with a semi-automatic weapon.
We, the jury in the above entitled action, find the defendant, Raheem Mayers, not guilty of...
And we haven't seen Asia Naomi King since she starred in How to Get Away with Murder as Michaela. She's back in a new series called Grosse Pointe Garden Society.
So the show is very dangerous because we learn incredibly quickly that someone's been murdered and we don't know who, and we're wondering which of our favorite characters could have been involved.
Grosse Pointe Garden Society, Sundays 10 p.m. on NBC. That's the Espresso.
This is Café Mocha. Radio from a woman's perspective.
Café Mocha, R&B singer Jay Brown is back with a new album called Just a Matter of Time. We're talking to him. He's on the line.
Jay, can we expect a tour or performances soon coming from you?
Yes, ma'am. I actually, I'm about to go on the road with my guy, Maxwell. So we're going out next week. We're doing like this cruise. It's actually my first cruise, to be honest with you, but it's a cruise nonetheless. So we're doing a tour on a cruise. Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's going to be great. Well, how can we keep in touch with you, Jay?
So, for those who want to keep in contact with me, you can go to my Instagram, which is the letter J, my last name Brown, music only, and all of my other social media outlets are attached to that as well.
I love that. Well, we can't wait to keep listening some more to your music. And thank you so much for taking time to call in to Cafe Mocha, Jay. Homie, my Detroit homie.
Straight up. Listen, we homies for life. And then for all the women that are on the phone, thank all y'all for your time. I appreciate it. I wish all of y'all a blessed day, prosperous week, Happy New Year, all that great stuff, man. So thanks again for allowing me to be on your platform.
Yeah, I'm
you too, bruh.
Thank you. I'm gonna play your song with my dude in the car.
Oh, there you go. See? Hey, wait. Before we get off the phone, notice she said my dude. She put it out there. This is my dude. So she's playing a love song for him. She clearly cares about him, which means he's doing something right.
Yes. I love it. We love you, Jay. Take care, okay?
Bye-bye.
All right, ladies.
Bye-bye.
Be safe. Stay away from the crazies.
All right,
Okay.
you too. Okay.
Just for me. He said that for me, Lonnie.
All right, peace, ladies.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Want a little more of our flavor? Stay right there. It's Café Mocha.
It's Café Mocha with Loni Love, Yo-Yo, and Angelique. On the line is Louis York. We had the pleasure of hearing them and seeing them perform live at one of our Salute Her events, and you guys killed it. Welcome to Café Mocha, Claude Kelly and Chuck Harmony. How are you guys?
Oh, we are good. Good to be here. Now that we're talking to you, we're great. We're doing really good.
Well, you know what? You guys are the consistent hit makers, and you now have your sophomore album coming out called Songs with Friends. Claude, tell us all about it.
Well, okay, so this is the thing. We have this long history of writing hits for everybody else, and then we ventured out to be a two-man band, Louis York, a long time ago, about 8-9 years ago. And at the time, everyone was like, you should call the people you know to help you get on. And we were so adamant about people taking us seriously as a band, separate from our songwriting and production careers, that we wanted to get the first album out and establish our sound and how we are live. And so this time around, we wanted to show people not just who we know, but the great friends we have and the great music we can make together. If we get in a studio in person, with people like Tamia and PJ Morton, Anthony Hamilton, and make music that's about life, about love, forgiveness, coming together. It was just a pleasure to make, and it's definitely our best work. I know people say that all the time, but it's actually our best work, for real.
I love that. And Chuck, they say that you guys are music industry's best kept secret. You've crafted so many hits. So how do you craft a hit for yourself?
I think it just comes from being true to yourself and true to the music that made you who you are. Louis York is about the combination of our influences coming together and making something great. And I really, even though they say I've had hits, I don't really know what a hit is. All I know is what a great song is. And so that's what we're looking for every time we go in the studio and do anything.
You know, you being very, very modest. I mean, you've had hits with Whitney Houston, Kelly Clarkson, Rihanna, Miley Cyrus, Fantasia, Bruno Mars, Jasmine Sullivan. I know you guys because you guys work with Café Mocha all the time. You're very humble, very sweet, but you all are geniuses. Is it true that Nashville is the next leader in urban music? Either one of you guys can answer.
I would say 100%. Yes, it is. I mean, Nashville's having a total reinvention right now. I think the country's changing. People are moving from some of the bigger cities that we all know and going to the South and to the Midwest. And Nashville's at the forefront of that. It really is Music City, but it's because there's a crazy Black country scene here happening. There's a crazy Americana scene and rock scene, but also a soul scene and gospel scene. And so we just happened to be moving here at a time where it was changing. And I think we're a part of that. So you were saying to Chuck earlier, we're the industry's best kept secret. We're trying to not be the best kept secret anymore. We're trying to be the most well known for keeping the bar high and putting Nashville on the map for more than just country music.
Make sure you check out the Image Awards live on BET or stream it on Peacock. The ratings were through the roof last year, better than ever in its history. Let's keep that trend going. Also, make sure you connect with us on all social media platforms at Café Mocha Radio. Café Mocha is a production of Miles Ahead Broadcasting in partnership with Super Radio. Executive producer Sheila Eldridge. For comments, booking, or more information, visit cafemocharadio.com.
Want a little more of our flavor? Stay right there. It's Café Mocha.
It's Café Mocha with Loni Love, Yo-Yo, and Angelique. On the line is Louis York. We had the pleasure of hearing them and seeing them perform live at one of our Salute Her events, and you guys killed it. Welcome to Café Mocha, Claude Kelly and Chuck Harmony. How are you guys?
Oh, we are good. Good to be here. Now that we're talking to you, we're great.
We're doing really good.
Well, you know what? You guys are the consistent hit makers, and you now have your sophomore album coming out called Songs with Friends. Claude, tell us all about it.
Well, okay, so this is the thing. We have this long history of writing hits for everybody else, and then we ventured out to be a two-man band, Louis York, a long time ago, about 8-9 years ago. And at the time, everyone was like, you should call the people you know to help you get on. And we were so adamant about people taking us seriously as a band, separate from our songwriting and production careers, that we wanted to get the first album out and establish our sound and how we are live. And so this time around, we wanted to show people not just who we know, but the great friends we have and the great music we can make together. If we get in a studio in person, with people like Tamia and PJ Morton, Anthony Hamilton, and make music that's about life, about love, forgiveness, coming together. It was just a pleasure to make, and it's definitely our best work. I know people say that all the time, but it's actually our best work, for real, for real.
I love that. And Chuck, they say that you guys are music industry's best kept secret. You've crafted so many hits. So how do you craft a hit for yourself?
I think it just comes from being true to yourself and true to the music that made you who you are. Louis York is about the combination of our influences coming together and making something great. And I really, even though they say I've had hits, I don't really know what a hit is. All I know is what a great song is. And so that's what we're looking for every time we go in the studio and do anything.
You know, you being very, very modest. I mean, you've had hits with Whitney Houston, Kelly Clarkson, Rihanna, Miley Cyrus, Fantasia, Bruno Mars, Jasmine Sullivan. I know you guys because you guys work with Café Mocha all the time. You're very humble, very sweet, but you all are geniuses. Is it true that Nashville is the next leader in urban music? Either one of you guys can answer.
I would say 100%. Yes, it is. I mean, Nashville's having a total reinvention right now. I think the country's changing. People are moving from some of the bigger cities that we all know and going to the South and to the Midwest, and Nashville's at the forefront of that. It really is Music City, but it's because there's a crazy Black country scene here happening. There's a crazy Americana scene and rock scene, but also a soul scene and gospel scene. And so we just happened to be moving here at a time where it was changing. And I think we're a part of that. So you were saying to Chuck earlier, we're the industry's best kept secret. We're trying to not be the best kept secret anymore. We're trying to be the most well known for keeping the bar high and putting Nashville on the map for more than just country music.
Make sure you check out the Image Awards live on BET or stream it on Peacock. The ratings were through the roof last year, better than ever in its history. Let's keep that trend going. Also, make sure you connect with us on all social media platforms at Café Mocha Radio. Café Mocha is a production of Miles Ahead Broadcasting in partnership with Super Radio. Executive producer Sheila Eldridge. For comments, booking, or more information, visit cafemocharadio.com.